Hello, I'm Amanda Whewell and welcome to week 3 of Project eARTh's Mexican Embroidery Design Project. This week we're going to look at how you can transfer your design onto fabric so it can be stitched later on either by yourself or by someone else. But before we do that, you've got time to look at the design you were making last week. If you haven't finished it, you can finish it off. And things you need to check: that you filled the space. Check your negative space, the spaces between the shapes, which are as important as the shapes themselves, and check that your design is well balanced. When you've done that, you can draw over your design with a black pen, and in a minute in the demo I'll show you how to transfer it onto fabric. And I think we'll have time this week. I can show you a little bit about how I've used this technique in some of my work. But one more thing before I go: if you're in the Project eARTh and you have the kit, the little evaluation forms should be filled in each week as we go. At the end of the project you can post them back so we get your feedback and see if you like what we're doing or you don't like it, what we can improve on. So if you've got the kit, you'll have those little evaluation forms in there. If you could remember to fill those in at the beginning and end of each week's session. So now we'll go on to the demonstration. I'll see you later. Bye. So once you've finished your design and you've gone over it with black felt tip pen, you can put your felt tips right out of the way because we don't need them for this bit. We're going to transfer the design onto the fabric. You'll need your pencil. It needs to be nice and sharp, so you might want to use your pencil sharpener. You need a bit of tape or sellotape, masking tape, blue tack, something to hold your fabric in place. You need your square of fabric, which will be slightly bigger than your design. And you need your finished design. So I've chosen this quatrefoil one as my finished design, but whichever one you like, you can choose for your embroidery design, your favourite design. Put your fabric over the top of your design and make sure you've got space all the way around. Your fabric will be a little bit bigger than mine. Mine's a bit small, but you need space at the top and the bottom and space at each side, so when the person comes to stitch it, they've got room to fit their hoop on. So your design goes in the centre of your piece of fabric. Then you just need a little tiny bit of masking tape or sellotape or whatever, and just put a little bit on each side just to hold your fabric in place while you trace the whole design. And then a little bit at the top and the bottom. This has probably gone right onto the table here. You might not be able to see it on the screen, but a little bit on the top and the bottom. Stick it to the table, stick it to your sketchbook so that your fabric's stuck nice and safely in place on top of your design. Then get your pencil, your sharp pencil, and start tracing your design. Doesn't matter where you start, you're just going to trace over it with pencil. You might need to hold your fabric taut like that, but it's quite easy to draw onto the fabric. You do need to maybe just hold it and stretch it, and then you can see quite clearly through and start tracing your design, and carry on until you've traced the whole thing. Here's one that I did earlier. I've traced the whole design onto the fabric using the sharp pencil. Don't use the pen, just the pencil. You get a nice clear line. I've drawn the square around the edge. You can do that or not, it's up to you. And once you've done that, then just keep your fabric safe, because we're not going to use that again until the end of next week when we decide what we're going to do with it. So I'm just going to fold that in half, maybe in quarters, and put it somewhere safe until next week. That's all you need to do with it for now. So I just thought I'd show you how you can use your own photographs or drawings to make a design in this style. And I'm going to show you from one of my examples. So this is a photograph that I took of a bird, and he was eating a Werther's Original Sweet. It's a noisy minor bird with a Werther's Original Sweet, and I thought it was quite funny, so I've got this lovely photograph of him. So I used that photograph, there's a small copy of it there, to do a drawing of the bird. So there's my rough drawing of the bird with his Werther's Original Sweet. I then took that drawing and I made it into a circular design. I wanted it to fit inside an embroidery hoop. So that's the little bird again, and I've split him up into the sort of shapes and patterns that we're looking at in the Otomi style design. And around the edge I've put some plants. This is supposed to be like a little tree with Werther's Originals growing on it, and some plants. So I then copied that onto fabric, and this is the design that I stitched from it. And in the original Otomi embroidery, they used to use just two colours. They would use generally black and red, but I chose the colour of a Werther's Original and the grey colour from the bird, and I stitched it all using those two colours. And so that's my finished design from my photograph. But then I had several photographs of the little minor bird, and I drew different ones of him in different angles. There he is eating the sweet, and this is out of my sketchbook, all the little photos here, and I just drew the bird in several different positions while he was eating his sweet. I think that might be, oh, there's one more there, well, there's a few more, but yeah, so I drew the bird in all different positions, and then that out of the way, I copied that onto a large design here, which is probably a bit wider than the screen, but I chose 3 of them, and I drew it out in this big scale with the scallops and the stripes like we've been doing in the Otomi style. And this is an Australian plant that I drew, but I've added these little lozenge shapes like the Werther's Original. And I then stitched that, it took me quite a long time, into a cushion cover. And I've got a picture here. I haven't got many photographs of the cushion cover, but I sent it to a friend as a present, and she sent me this photograph of it. So that's a design from my photograph. There it is, original photograph of the noisy miner with his Werther's Original, became this bright, colourful design made into a cushion with pom-poms round. So just showing you how you can use your own pictures to translate something into this style.